They say that men have issues with intimacy, don't they? But do women have issues with intimacy too? In my experience, they do. Issues with intimacy is not just a male problem, it's a human problem. And it's not because there's something wrong with you. It's because we haven't been trained to learn how to develop intimacy. It is a learnable skill, and it's something that people are starving to death for. I want to teach you how to create unbelievable, amazing intimacy in your life with every single person that you want to have intimacy with. Because there may be some people you don't want to know at all. I'm not just talking about sex. Intimacy is about safety and closeness. You can have amazing intimacy with your kid because you know they feel they can tell you anything. You can have amazing intimacy with your mom or your dad because you know you can tell them anything, and vice versa. Whereas with your lover, wow, that might lead to incredible experiences that we might even call spiritual experiences while making love. I'm not talking about religion. I'm talking about feeling a deeper sense of connection with someone than just a mental or physical connection. Like maybe even a soul or heart connection would be the right way to say it. This is the third video in the series. So if you haven't seen my video on amazing relationships, and if you haven't seen my video on how you're working on yourself can affect other people, watch those two first and then come on back to this one. If you're ready, you're in the right place to learn how to create incredible, amazing intimacy, really with anybody. Now, the first thing you have to do, of course, is remember that you're responsible for your feelings and nobody can make you feel anything. And from that place, you realize that if you work on yourself and permanently remove the buttons that people push in you, that you'll affect your experience of them. You'll affect your relationship with them. So now let's apply this knowledge to intimacy. Intimacy is when you feel completely safe with someone and or they feel completely safe with you. So if you want to have the experience of amazing intimacy, you have to become the kind of person that can do and have that. You have to become that kind of person who can have amazing intimacy. What does that mean? That means that you have to make yourself feel safe with other people, and you have to make them feel safe with you. Think about this. It's your responsibility to cause other people in your life to feel safe around you. Is someone that you know and love going to share their problems with you if they already know that all you're going to do is judge them, or even worse, yell at them? They're not going to tell you. They're going to think it's a white lie to not tell you because it's better than getting yelled at, or it's better than being judged. They just won't let you in anymore. So if you want to get in, if you want to be close to them, if you want them to tell you anything and everything and really feel connected to them, then you have to make them feel safe. That's your job, not theirs. Now, vice versa, you feeling safe with other people will partly depend on them and if they are a non-judgmental person. But what's interesting is that as you release your judgment of yourself and your judgment of other people, you'll attract people naturally that are not as judgmental. And you'll begin to have more and more intimacy in your whole life with everyone around you. Even in the workplace, you'll feel like you can tell your colleagues what's really going on, really share your ideas. Whereas before, maybe you didn't. Maybe you were afraid that they would judge you. And you erase your own judgment and your own fear, and suddenly you can share now. So intimacy is something that we create ourselves by working on ourselves. And I've given you the first clue. Erase your own judgment. And if you erase your own judgments, you might find that people say to you, I've never felt this safe in my life. They might say to you, you should write a book on dating, even on the first date. They might say to you, you're a sex god. You should write books on sex. And all that you did was spend time clearing out all the layers of judgment, using the 7 steps to reprogramming yourself, going through layer after layer until you are safe for the other person, consciously and unconsciously. For me, I started eating really healthy when I was young because I almost died. Literally, at 22, I was told by my last doctor I was going to die. And I started doing my own research because I had already been to every type of doctor. of every type of medicine I could find in a phone book. And within 6 months, I had completely fixed my body. And I wanted to share with other people what I had learned. And diet, of course, played a role in that. No one wants to talk about diet because no one wants to change their diet. And what I found was that I had some judgment about it. So I consciously decided to stop being judgmental. And people could eat all the unhealthy food they wanted. And it made a difference, but I still heard from my audiences as I was teaching that they felt like if they didn't follow the healthy diet, because there is only one scientifically proven healthy diet, and you're not going to find it in 99% of books out there, trust me, that if they didn't follow this diet, that somehow I was going to judge them. But I had consciously decided that I would never do that. So it was weird to me, and I realized something. I still had unconscious judgment. So I started erasing it. That's what the 7 steps does. It works on the unconscious. So it's layer by layer by layer of all this judgment. I didn't even know it was there until the audience mirrored it to me, right? Remember we talked about that in the last video, that people mirror to you stuff for you to work on. That's how I found out I had that stuff. I didn't know. So I started working on it and working on it and working on it. And then within 6 months, the audience members started saying something else to me. They started saying, you know what? I've never taken a health course in my life where I felt completely no judgment. I was completely free to do anything I want, eat whatever I want, exercise or not exercise, do whatever I wanted to do, and that there was no judgment at all. I've never taken a health course like that. Because every other health course I've ever taken, I always felt judgment from the instructor, but not from you. And I heard that over and over and over again, and what that showed me was that I had changed. The mirror showed I had transformed myself from having unconscious judgment to being totally congruent in being non-judgmental about health and nutrition and diet. But that was only one thing. There's other layers of judgment that we carried on every subject in life. And if you have judgments about yourself, like if you think that your body isn't good enough, guess what? You're going to judge other people's bodies as soon as they get close enough to you. The closer someone is to you in your life, the more you'll treat them the way you treat yourself. So all the judgments you have about yourself, you will project onto those very close to you. So if you get really close to a best friend or a spouse or a lover or a child or a parent, you might find that you automatically, without trying to, totally against your conscious will, judge them. Judge how they dress, judge their body, judge what they say, judge what they do. And every single judgment that you have about them, you have about yourself, and vice versa. So in order to create intimacy, you have to get rid of all of your judgment. How can someone open up to you and be super safe and close with you if they can sense that you're going to judge them? Even if you don't say it, they can feel it, right? You know what I'm talking about because you've experienced that in your life. In America, there's a huge problem with parenting. Oh, those terrible teenagers. It's not always the teenagers. Most of the time, it's the parents who don't know about parenting. And what they've done is they've been a dictator to their child and a judgmental person to their child, projecting all their judgments they have on themselves onto the child. And then when the child gets old enough to be their own person, to think for themselves and become an adult, they begin to rebel against their parents' dictatorship, their rules, and their judgment. Whereas if the parent had taken the approach of being a mentor, developing a close relationship with their kid to teach them everything they need to know to be successful and happy in life without forcing them to follow their rules, the kid would always go right to mom or right to dad, to the parent and say, Mom and Dad, my friends at school are drinking beer. What should I do? But instead, the kid just does it and does it wrong because they have no training on how to deal with these situations. They go have sex not knowing how to do that right. And they get into trouble. They have problems because no one mentored them on how to do these things properly because there's so much judgment about those things. If you want your teenager to come to you for advice and actually follow the advice, it starts with, at an earlier age, being their mentor, not their dictator, and accepting them unconditionally, no judging at all. And if you can be non-judgmental with your kid, what's going to happen? They're going to feel like they can tell you anything and everything. What if you don't have any kids though? Well, it's true about your friends. It's true about your sweetheart. It's true about your employees. It's even true about your boss. It's true about your parents, everyone in your family. You'll have the experience that you're the go-to person for them to come talk to about their problems, because you're the one who doesn't judge them. Because you're the one who will listen and say, I understand, without pointing out what a loser they are and how stupid they were and why'd they do this and why'd they do that and didn't you know better and oh my God, I can't believe you and I'm so humiliated that you're my friend and blah, all this judgment stuff. That's not going to ever create intimacy. That's going to create walls between you and the other person. This leads into a whole other conversation that I might have to give you, we'll see, on how to be in love your whole life. But I'm giving you the beginning pieces. Because if you're judging someone that you love, you're creating walls between them. And how can you be in love with someone when there's 18 walls between you and them? If you remove all the walls, then you can be connected at the heart again. You can be in love again. So, if you want to have amazing intimacy with anyone and everyone, which means to feel so safe with them and them so safe with you that you can completely open up and even share everything you're thinking. Have you ever had that before? Have you ever had anyone in your life where you could tell them any and every thought that runs through your head and feel safe that they're not going to judge you? That's real intimacy. If you've never had that, you've been missing out because you've been alone the whole time. To truly be connected to other people and not be alone means that you can share everything about who you are and be yourself, the way you are when you're by yourself. Now, if you don't like yourself when you're by yourself, that's what you got to work on. And guess what that is? That's self-judgment. You should love yourself the way you are. I say should because it's an ideal, but it's a realistic ideal if you learn how to erase judgment permanently. And as you erase the layers of judgment permanently, you can then accept yourself the way you are. And if you accept yourself the way you are, you'll feel safe to be yourself with other people. If they're judgmental, you'll just know not to be everything yourself with those people, but you'll find friends like you. You might even teach people how to be like you by having them watch these videos and learn how to erase their judgment permanently as they learn the 7 steps to reprogramming yourself, which is of course the first and most important tool in how to do that. So to make it really clear, you learn the 7 steps to reprogramming yourself, you erase layers of judgment you have about yourself and about other people, because they're the same thing. And as you do that, other people will automatically feel safe with you. People will start to say things that are amazing that you're thinking, why are they saying this to me? Because you started putting out this vibe of safety and non-judgment, and really what it is unconditional love. That's what I'm teaching you, is how to become unconditional love. And as you do, you'll have intimacy automatically. It can happen in a moment. You meet someone and instantly you feel connected. And you don't have to spend hours and days and weeks and months to get to know them to have intimacy. It's really all about working on yourself and clearing out the judgment, and that's when the intimacy shows up with everyone in your life. And you can become that person that people say, I've never felt so safe in all my life. I had a nurse go through my courses. Her husband and her parents were both doctors, my health courses, and I thought when she got up to share, she was going to say that my health courses were better than any medical school she had been through. And she did say that. But first, before she said that, the very first thing she said, and it surprised me, was, I've never felt so safe in all my life as I feel here with you. And she meant the entire seminar. And that was done on purpose, because I created a space of non-judgment and love and acceptance in the entire seminar. And you can do that in your life. If you can just do it with one person, you'll be able to do it with more and more people. I know you're saying, he's talking about loving myself. Yes, I am. And as you take away the judgment and love yourself unconditionally, it'll be the same for other people. Again, they're just your mirror. They're just your mirror. If you feel judgmental about them, you're judging yourself too. So we'll talk more about the 7 steps to reprogramming yourself and how to permanently remove these layers as we go forward. I really wanted to break down intimacy for you. In the next video, we're going to talk a little bit more about how to get rid of your baggage and the other tools. And we're also going to talk a little bit about how to be the most amazing, authentic person that you can ever be. See you in the next video.